Welcome into the Top 5, brought to you by Flag and Anthem. I am Paul Catalina, and this is my Top 5. So, these are the 5 things that I have ranked in order that I think are important. And guess what I think about your opinion? I don't care. That's for the new people, just to get out of the way of the combative stuff. If you're here over and over again, I certainly appreciate you, and you get the rules. If not, I just wanted to be the tough guy, like a substitute teacher on day one. First rattle out of the box, use our promo code 365sports at flagandanthem.com. Now that the Bagman may come back because of House versus NCAA, let's go through some of our favorite Bagman stories of all time. Number 5, Rhett Bomar has a job. Big Red Motorsports hired Rhett Bomar and lots of other players, including Adrian Peterson. He was able to skate on this. Rhett Bomar was the sacrificial lamb for the Oklahoma program, though. Kicked off the team and had to go play elsewhere because he had a job. Basically, he had a time card and somebody put it in. Only problem was Big Red Motorsports sold in the midst of all this, and the booster who owned it did not think about the accounting department. And so when the new accounting department took over, they found several employees with a ton of hours that they'd never seen before. One of those was Rhett Bomar. And just in an auditing, not an auditing mishap, but an unfortunate auditing situation for Oklahoma and their quarterback, Rhett Bomar had a bunch of hours. So he was removed from the team, and the Sooners did suffer for it. Number 4, the Bush family gets a house. This one, to me, is one of the dumber ones when it comes to the old era of name, image, and likeness. Look, Rhett Bomar had a job, didn't go to it. That's dumb. That was dumb. It was dumb then. It's dumb now. It shouldn't be allowed now, even with the new liberal interpretation of NIL rules that we have. But the Bush family, as he was winning the Heisman Trophy, an agent was able to help them secure a loan for a house in Southern California, in San Diego, as a matter of fact, that had a high value because real estate in Southern California has a high value for just being in Southern California because it's very pretty there, especially in San Diego. So Reggie Bush's family got a house. It was found out Reggie Bush got his Heisman taken away until now, just recently. It's finally been returned to him, which I thought was one of the dumbest things in all of this. But Reggie Bush finally got his Heisman back, and he was off to the NFL. It didn't really hurt him college career-wise. The Heisman Trophy thing hurt him for a long time, and it really, really messed him up because, of course, you'd be sad about that. But Pete Carroll left USC as a result of this scandal. They have not been the same since. Now, he's since gone on and won Super Bowls and is now the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. So it didn't really hurt Pete Carroll all that much, but it certainly did sting USC because they've never been the same since this. Number 3, Nevin Chapyro builds the Canes with a Ponzi scheme. When you Google Nevin Chapyro, as I did to find this picture of him, it says, and usually Google will flower it up a little bit, even for certain people who are criminals. It says Nevin Chapyro, con artist. So Nevin Chapyro, the 01 Miami team, all those great Miami teams of the late 90s and early 2000s, their bagman was a guy named Nevin Chapyro. Nevin Chapyro was a financial advisor or hedge fund manager, or whatever you want to say. But it was all a Ponzi scheme. So he was stealing his investors' money and giving it to the greatest college football team ever. Now, does it make it not the greatest college football team ever? By no means, but was built on a Ponzi scheme, so that stings a little bit. Ultimately, this did hurt Miami because from 2001 until just last year, we haven't seen much of that Miami since then. Not to mention, if you've ever seen the U documentaries, Nevin Chapyro is certainly mentioned, but even the teams in the 80s, they had some bagmen among them as well, and they don't care that you know it. Number 2.
For those who want the best, look no further than the Founders Series by Louisiana Grills. Distinguished grilling machines designed to raise the standard of your backyard culinary experience. An homage to our founder and pellet grill visionary, Dan Thiessen. These grills feature upscale, stylish designs blended with a reawakening of performance and innovation. If you want the best food, then you need the best grill. Louisiana Grills.
The last two involve one of the same schools. Texas A&M wanted to get the best running back in all the land. Happened to live in Louisiana. His name was John David Crow. His family had a farm, and in order to entice John David Crow to make his decision, they flew a helicopter over his family farm and kicked out a bag of cash, to which they got themselves their first Heisman Trophy winner in John David Crow, who was coached by the legendary Bear Bryant, whose recruiting was pure as the driven snow, I assure you. And finally, number one, another story that involved Texas A&M, and this one is straight up hilarious. And unfortunate for the Aggies because it's kind of their curse that they can't even cheat right. Eric Dickerson's gold Trans Am. Texas A&M thought they had Eric Dickerson, the great running back from Sealy, Texas, all locked up. They were down in Sealy. They went and bought him a beautiful gold 1984 Pontiac Trans Am, the kind of car every running back needed in 1984. He then jumped in that car, drove his ass to Dallas, and went and played for SMU. The boosters involved were like, well, we got to report him. And then one of them said, hey, dummy, we can't say they out-cheated us. We just have to take this lump. That is the greatest Bagman story of all time. I don't think it'll ever be topped. And if it can be topped, I think people need to start writing books. That is going to do it for the top five. Andrew Verlade's got poll information. I have no idea what it is because I'm not even here today. Smokey, help the people out.